Feli is a sweet 16-year-old girl who has no parents. Being an orphan, she not only lives in an orphanage, but also takes care of the younger ones. The owner of the orphanage, Madame Ida, appreciates the girl as her assistant and lets her work in a restaurant. Working as a waitress, Feli is late, but her regular customer Johan is ready to wait for her as long as it takes. The rich man asks the girl for advice on his appearance and appreciates her communication skills. At some point, children from the orphanage come to the restaurant to congratulate Feli on her birthday. The owner of the establishment scolds the waitress, but the rich man stands up for her and gives the girl a ride back to the orphanage for children. In the evening, Madame Ida gives Feli a hair clip and supports her. The girl is tired of waiting for the return of her parents and claims that she will agree to any adoption no matter who offers it. While working at the orphanage, Feli experiences a panic attack when she finds herself in a dark room. As it turns out, she is afraid of the dark, but now she has a smile on her face as she has been accepted to attend an elite school. Her old friend Chloe is also studying there, about meeting with whom Feli has been dreaming lately. The next morning, the girl goes to school and almost gets under the wheels of 4 bullies, calling themselves 4 princes. They behave defiantly and disobey the rules, but Feli reacts to them aggressively, defending the weak and fragile school president named Hem. A few minutes later, it turns out that the 4 bullies are her classmates, and Chloe ignores her friend as if she doesn't notice her. After befriending Shania and Alan, Feli learns more about the boys. Raggi, Helgi, Jordan, and Naviro are 4 brothers and sons of the school's head patron. Raggi is into cars, Jordan is obsessed with music, Helgi loves computer games, and Naviro is always nice to girls. At the same time, the guys are considered dangerous, so her friends ask Feli to avoid socializing with them. Soon the girl notices that her chain, left by her parents, has disappeared and she can't find it. After that, the brothers take away her hair clip and break it. Chloe hangs out with them and asks Feli to forget they were ever friends. The first day did not go well, but the girl does not lose optimism. In the evening, Madame Ida prepares a festive dinner. Since Mr. Johan came to them, the rich man informs that he wants to adopt Feli and brought his sons to get acquainted. Feli is shocked, as the sons of her regular client are the 4 princes. Johan's sons are extremely resentful that their father made the decision without consulting them. Jordan is the only one who is silent, unlike the rest of the boys. Raggi is most unhappy with the situation and leaves, not wanting to see the girl's face. She goes after him and notices the pendant in the guy's hands, which she got from her parents. Feli begs to return the jewelry and is ready to give up the adoption, only if the guy returns the chain and the pendant. Back to Mr. Johan, she says that she cannot accept his offer, but the man does not give up. Following Feli, he tells her that he is a widower, and his desire to adopt a daughter is the dream of his late wife. Showing understanding and sympathy, Feli decides to agree to a trial period. She will live in the man's house for 3 months, and then tell him if she is ready to become his daughter. The next morning, Madame Ida and the children see Feli off, hoping that she will finally find a family. Upon arrival at the rich man's house, the girl meets Madame Ratesh, the servant who runs the house. She helps Feli to get used to the smart house, controlled by a voice assistant. Jordan also helps the girl to understand how everything is organized here and shows respect to the new sister, which cannot be said about the other brothers. A little later, Raggi calls her up and offers to go to town to buy the girl some new things. It is actually a trap, and after leaving her in the middle of the city, the guy returns home. Noticing that it has started raining heavily outside, he shows sympathy and goes back for Feli. The next morning, the teens head off to school. The father suggests his daughter to go along with his sons, as a result of which one decides to go to class in his auto. On the way, Raggi stops and asks Feli to get out, as he does not want anyone to see them together. The girl is almost late for class, but jumps over the fence to make it in time. A little later, Shania asks her to go with her to the site where Raggi is recording a new drifting video. When he notices his new sister, he invites her for a ride, but the girl is not frightened and even jokes about her brother. In the evening, Raggi decides to take revenge on her and turns off the electricity in the whole house, as he saw that she is afraid of the dark. Raggi, Helgi, and Naviro mock Feli as they suddenly hear a noise in her room and realize that something has happened to the girl. Learning of what has happened, Jordan opens the door's code lock to enter the girl's bedroom. Finding Feli on the floor, Jordan lifts the girl up and asks her to fix the electrical problem. As soon as the light appears in the room, a frightened Feli hugs the guy tightly, much to his embarrassment. The other brothers reluctantly apologize, but do not draw conclusions and continue to be angry with Feli, dreaming of kicking her out of the house. At the same time, Feli realizes that she has begun to feel sympathy for Jordan, but thinks it's wrong, because now they are brother and sister. The next morning, she doesn't snitch on the guys and their behavior, but even this act is used by Naviro and Helgi to fix an insulting note on the girl's back. Seeing this taunt, she decides to make a scene, but accidentally clings to a schoolboy, spilling a drink on him. The bully decides to hit Feli, but Ragi defends her sister. A little later, Naviro and Helgi are forced to fight with the same bully, but the teacher stops the scuffle. While trying to clean up, Naviro and Helgi meet a schoolgirl and have no idea that they are both in love with the same girl. In class, Feli notices that her chair has been stained with paint. Jordan acts honorably and does not let the girl be laughed at, covering the stained dress with his jacket. A little later, Feli leaves for work, but Naviro, Helgi, and Ragi also go to the restaurant. They knock over glasses and flip her wallet to accuse the girl of stealing. The boss immediately fires Feli, much to the girl's dismay. Trying to cheer her up, Jordan takes his sister to a fashion store to buy her clothes. In the evening, there is a conflict between the brothers because Jordan treats her well, which does not please Ragi and the others. Overhearing the conversation, Feli punches Ragi in the face and promises to leave the house if they hate her so much. Back in her room, the girl writes a letter to Madame Ida, contemplating going back to the orphanage. A little later, she decides to have tea and meets Jordan in the kitchen. The guy is affectionate and caring towards the girl, because of which she finally falls in love with her half-brother. Having changed her mind about leaving, Feli tries on new clothes that Jordan bought for her. The next morning, she completely changes her appearance, causing her brothers to look at her with interest. In an attempt to thank Jordan, she decides to cook rice, which everyone tastes except Raga. A few hours later, the whole family goes to the cemetery of Johan's late wife. The boys are very jealous that Feli went with them, as she has nothing to do with their late mother. A little later, Feli and Ragi clash again, as he and the other brothers consider her a stranger. Still, having made the decision to leave, the girl packs her things and asks her stepfather to take her to the orphanage. He shows Feli a video of his late wife dreaming of a daughter and asks her to keep her promise by living in his house for 3 months. Meanwhile, Helgi and Naviro go to a restaurant and find out that they are both in love with the same girl, which leads to a quarrel. In the evening, Ragi returns Feli her bracelet, and in the morning asks her to let him copy off her homework. Chloe notices that the couple is socializing too much and is jealous of Feli, as she is in love with Ragi and wants to be with him. At cheerleaders practice, Chloe suggests her former friend to take an active part in one of the designs, but sets Feli up. The girl falls and injures her leg, which makes Ragi nervous. He can't go near her as Jordan takes care of Feli and picks her up. Ragi is not happy with what is happening and fights with Chloe, demanding that she be more attentive to Feli. Upon returning home, everyone notices that Helgi and Naviro are in a fight and openly avoid each other. A little later, when Naviro decides to cook dinner, Feli learns that the brothers have fallen in love with the same girl. In an attempt to reconcile them, Feli and Jordan trap the guys and lock the bedroom door. In the end, Helgi and Naviro make a gentleman's agreement, according to which they both confess their love to Monica and she will choose the one she wants to stay with. The next morning, they put their plan into action, but it turns out that Monica is off to London and doesn't want a relationship with either one. Meanwhile, Jordan invites Feli to the expo, but Ragi goes along with them. At one point, Ragi's mood changes dramatically and he reminds his brother that they should get rid of the new sister. Jordan is against this plan, and Ragi asks the cook to prepare a seafood dish since Feli is allergic to it. In the evening, the teens congratulate their father on his birthday, and the girl tries a dish that makes her itch. Jordan is invited to a recording studio as he is making progress in the music field, but his father supports Ragi opening a machine shop instead of him. Feli supports Jordan and tells him not to give up. The next morning, he goes to a recording studio where he is offered a contract, but only on the condition that the guy pays for it. In the evening, Ragi returns home and sees Feli sleeping. He apologizes for his shenanigans and leaves the pills, as suddenly the girl hugs him tightly. She is asleep and does not know that she hugged Ragi, but the guy feels awkward because he is angry with her, but at the same time, he realizes that he cares about his half-sister. Showing sympathy for Feli, the guy takes her to the bedroom. Abruptly waking up, the girl attacks Ragi and beats him until he begins to justify himself and tells about what happened. Naviro and Helgi witness what is happening and begin to banter with their older brother, realizing that he cares for Feli. The next morning, Ragi tries to woo his half-sister and offers her a ride to school, but Feli ignores him and leaves with Jordan. At school, Feli witnesses a conflict between the bully Kai and an unhappy girl named Davina. Kai threatens the girl to publish her photos on social media, causing her to be ready to take her own own life. Feli stands up for Davina and defends her, while Ragi intervenes in the scandal to protect his younger sister. He clashes and fights with Kai, but the story doesn't end there. Soon they are all summoned to the principal's office as Davina testifies, blaming Feli and Ragi for everything, resulting in their suspension. In an attempt to get justice, Feli sneaks into the hospital and records Kai and Davina's conversation on a tape recorder. On the way out of the hospital, the guards try to catch the girl, but Ragi shows up just in time to protect her and get her out of the building. A recording of the conversation allows the real bully to be exposed. As a result, Feli and Ragi are reinstated, while Kai is on the verge of being kicked out of school and will go to jail if he tries to publish Davina's photo. Meanwhile, Jordan signs a contract with a music company and promises to pay for promotion to become popular. After school, Ragi again offers Feli to go with him and his brothers, and the girl agrees. Noticing this, Chloe and her friends decide to do everything to ruin Feli's life. A few days later, the four brothers and Feli go on a school trip to another city. Ragi did not want to go, but his stepsister persuaded the guy to change his mind. Hem tries to get closer to Feli, but Ragi and the others do not let the schoolboy near his sister. Having feelings for her, Ragi looks for an excuse to be near the girl and asks her to be grateful to him for the fact that they were not expelled from school. Upon arriving at the camp, he asks Feli to spoon feed him like a baby, but the girl avoids it to spend time with Jordan. Soon they go for a walk in the park, but in the evening they can't find their way home and realize they are lost. Ragi starts to panic and tries to find his brother and sister, but their cell phones are off the grid and he doesn't know where they've disappeared to. Chloe, ignored by Ragi, overhears him talking to his father and learns what Mr. Johan knows about Feli. After finding the girl and Jordan, Kai and a mob of bullies attack them to hurt them. Ragi arrives on the scene in time and saves Feli by hugging the girl tightly. He threatens Kai with expulsion, but offers to make peace that he will not go near Feli again. Chloe decides to act sneaky and pretends to be a friend to Feli again. Having learned about her sympathy for Jordan, Chloe persuades the girl to confess her feelings to him. The guy is not in the best mood as the music producer does not answer him, and Feli decides to tell him about the sympathy, but these words shock Jordan. After a little thought, the guy declares that he has no feelings for her, and the only thing he is interested in is music. Feli feels upset and rejected, but does not notice the fact that Chloe is hiding nearby and filmed what is happening on video. Soon a video of Jordan rejecting Feli appears on the internet, causing the school kids to start bullying her. Seeing this video, Ragi rushes to the girl to hug and support her in a difficult moment. Despite his attitude, Feli suspects that it was Ragi who made the video to bully her. The next morning, Hem visits Feli and supports her in her predicament and deletes the compromising video. Despite this, Chloe's friends continue to hurt and insult Feli. Because of this, they find themselves in an awkward position as the four princes stand up for the girl and do not allow bad things to be said about her. A little later, Ragi proposes a bet. If he is not to blame for what happened, Feli will fulfill one wish of his. Realizing that the girl needs to escape from the camp, Ragi steals a scooter and the couple goes to nature to be alone. This helps Feli relax and open up a bit by talking about her life at the orphanage. Upon returning to the camp, Chloe finds out that her ex-girlfriend was with Ragi and decides to humiliate her again. During a campfire song, everyone mocks Feli, but the guy decides to sing with her to protect her from the crowd. A little later, Ragi meets Jordan and confesses that he wants to court the girl and is in love with her. Jordan supports his older brother and asks him to do everything he can to take care of Feli, as she is a beautiful person. The next morning, the school kids continue to bully her, but the four princes defend Feli in every way possible, which angers the people around them. Upon returning home, Jordan tries to talk to Feli, but she avoids him and shuts herself in her room. The girl is upset that the guy rejected her and believes that she does not deserve love. In the evening, she doesn't go out to dinner, but Navarro makes a special dinner for her to cheer up her stepsister. In the morning, Jordan tries to talk to Feli again, but she continues to ignore him and goes off to her room. At one point, the agitated girl breaks a vase, which Ragi hears. Bursting into her bedroom, he calms and supports Feli in every possible way. The guy finds it increasingly difficult to hide his crush on his half-sister, but he promises to do everything to make her smile. Someone reposts a humiliating recording of her declaration of love, and Ragi suggests turning to Hem to identify the offender. The class president uses his hacker skills and discovers that Chloe is behind it. This shocks Feli, as she naively assumed they were still friends. A little later, Ragi takes the girl to his workshop and asks her to create a sketch for his future car, promising to teach her how to drive. At night, Jordan asks Feli to come to him for an impromptu concert, and the girl still agrees to meet the guy who rejected her feelings. Jordan turns on his new song to make up with Feli. The girl forgives the guy for rejecting her feelings, and they become best friends. Meanwhile, Helgi and Navarro finally realize that their older brother Ragi is in love with the girl and wants to be with her. At night, Hem calls Feli and informs her that he has come up with a plan to expose Chloe. In the morning, Feli gives Ragi a sketch of his future car and chats with her stepfather, admitting that she has been able to befriend his sons and feels happy here. Everyone at school notices that Feli is socializing with the four princes, but they don't understand how or why they became close. Shania finds out about her friend's personal life and suggests her to pay attention to another guy who is always there for her, subtly hinting at Ragi, who gave her a new cell phone. A little later, Hem blackmails Chloe and demands money so that he doesn't expose her as the author of the offensive video. It turns out that this is part of a plan to expose Chloe, as the school principal finds out about the situation and forces the girl to record an apology video. A little later, Chloe goes to the orphanage and learns from Madame Ida that the father of the four princes has adopted Feli. After sneaking onto the grounds of their home, she becomes convinced and shoots the video while hiding behind a car nearby. Jordan learns that the music producer turned out to be a con artist and stole his money. In the evening, he informs his father about it, and the latter quarrels with him. Ragi supports his younger brother, while Feli decides to talk to her stepfather, believing that he is wrong about Jordan and his musical ambitions. Realizing that the girl was right, Mr. Johann went to his son's bedroom to talk and support him. He is proud of Jordan and is willing to help him so that his son can achieve his goals and make his dreams come true. The next morning, news breaks at school that Feli is Johann's illegitimate daughter. This gossip quickly turns into news that goes beyond the school and becomes a major story on all the TV news channels. The four brothers believe these rumors and don't trust Feli, which causes them to fight, and the girl runs away. After learning about it online, a man named Andres goes to the orphanage and meets Feli to tell her that he is her birth father. He asks to live with him, but the girl needs to think about it to make a decision. Back home, the sons discuss the gossip with their father and realize that he did not lie to them, and Feli is just a girl he decided to adopt in memory of his late wife. In the evening, all four write a message to Feli, asking her to forgive them. In the morning, Feli meets with Ragi and informs him that she has decided to go to her father and live with him, but in order to do so, she needs to move to another city. Raji is shocked and struggles to hold back tears, but realizes that he should support whatever decision the girl makes. To spend the day together, he agrees to teach her how to drive and shows her a car designed from her sketches. Learning to drive becomes romantic, and at one point the couple gets close to kissing. At one point, Ragi decides to confess his love to the girl, but a moment later it becomes clear that these are his dreams. A couple of days later, Feli leaves the homes of the four princes. They are all very upset but accept the girl's decision because she leaves with her own father. In the evening, the four brothers are constantly sad and realize that each in his own way fell in love with Feli. Jordan appreciates her as a friend. Helgi and Navarro considered her their own sister, and Ragi loves the girl and wants to be with her. Meanwhile, Andres brings his daughter to a very different place than he promised. They stop in a neighboring village, and the girl's phone has disappeared without a trace, because of which she cannot write to the guys. During dinner, Andres does not want to remember his late wife and avoids talking about the past. In the morning, the girl remembers that Ragi gave her another phone. Using it, she writes a message to the guy and informs him that she is nearby. Upon hearing this, Mr. Johann begins to doubt that her father is real and checks the information, but finds nothing suspicious. At the same time, Ragi realizes that this is the last chance to talk to the girl and confess his love to her. Knowing that she is not far away, the brothers support Ragi, as a result of which he goes in search of Feli, who is under the close control of her father's armed guards. A little later, the girl decides to take a walk, but the guards don't take a step away from her. Once on the lawn, she takes a few photos and calls Ragi. The guy hides that he is on his way to her place and asks her to discount her exact location. Soon he arrives at the place and sees that the house is full of people who look like bandits. A few minutes later, the girl returns to the house but does not feel safe. Fearful fearful, she runs away and meets Ragi, hugging him tightly. The guy offers to spend time together so that she can relax and not think about bad things. Meanwhile, Johan visits his late wife's grave and realizes that he misses Feli. Returning to the car, the man notices a grave with the name Andreas and asks an assistant to check if the girl's biological father is alive. Ragi and Feli spend time together, and at one point the guy decides to confess his love to her. He promises to be together and take care of her for life, but now he is forced to bring her home before her father notices her absence. Back home through the fence, the girl hears Andres talking. As it turns out, it's not her father, but her uncle. But that's not the worst part. The man decided to sell her for organs and made arrangements with criminals ready to buy the girl. Realizing that she is a prisoner of a maniac who is ready to sell her, the girl steals a car and tries to escape. On the way, Feli calls Ragi, but armed guards pursue her. After stopping the car, the bandits and her uncle grab the girl, taking her hostage again. The next morning, Ragi waits for Feli in a cafe, but the girl does not arrive at the meeting place and does not answer her phone calls. At the same time, Johan learns from his assistant that the girl's kidnapper is her own uncle, but he is a criminal who has been in prison for human trafficking several times. Realizing that Feli is in terrible danger, the father calls Ragi and informs him. He pleads with his son not to do anything, but Ragi hurriedly goes to the country house. After waiting for the right moment, he sneaks inside and attacks the guard to free the girl. The mission fails as another guard beats Ragi on the head and ties him up. It isn't long before the guy manages to send the coordinates to his brothers. Jordan, Helgi, and Naviro also arrive on the scene and infiltrate the closed territory. Acting coherently, they beat up several guards and rescue the bound Feli and Ragi. The five escape in a car, but a tire bursts on the way, causing the criminals to catch up with them. The brothers split up and trap the bandits to beat them up. One of the criminals grabs Feli and threatens the girl with a machete, but she bites his hand, allowing them to escape. Johan learns what has happened and sends security to bring his children home. Everyone is safe, but Feli's uncle continues to blackmail the rich man and demands a ransom for the girl's peace of mind and safety. Ragi overhears the conversation, and as the father sets off to meet the trafficker, the four sons and Feli follow him. Johan pays the ransom, but the girl's uncle cannot escape as the boys break his car and surround it. A few days later, Feli's uncle goes to jail, and the girl returns to the house of the four brothers. Soon they return to school, and everyone notices that Ragi is different, as he and Feli are now together. A while later, Chloe comes to her former friend's house to talk. She pretends to try to make up, but in fact again offends Feli and says that the girl will destroy Johan's family if she stays in it. Taking the words to heart, Feli learns that Johan has problems in business because she was considered an illegitimate daughter. Realizing all this, the girl meets with her stepfather and declares that she has decided to return to the orphanage to wait for her parents sooner or later. A couple of days later, school children gather at a party in honor of Raga's birthday. Hem confesses his love to Feli, but she rejects him and then Ragi, saying that they cannot be together. The girl runs away and cries, but Ragi pursues her to sort out her feelings. Eventually, Feli confesses that she loves him mutually, due to which they decide to be together again. It seems like a happy ending, but upon returning to the house, the four brothers and Feli meet a mysterious woman, the same woman who wanted to buy Feli for organs.